Okay, we're going live. Thank you for showing up. This is the neighborhood meeting for a file PZ-11-23, 380 and 384 Erie Avenue. My name is Blaine Yatabi. I'm the planner representing this file. So the reason for a public or neighborhood meeting, it's to solicit public comments and to give people the chance to basically state what they feel or their opinion or their concerns, whatnot. You're also requested, if you so wish, to send email. We've had a couple telephone calls. Sometimes people come in and speak in person. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to, like I've stated who I am, basically a brief introduction of what this file is. Then I'll introduce Councillor Van Tilburg and Mandy Semmel, Ward 5, over here. And then I will introduce Robert Phillips from Cahoon Engineering, who is he's working on this file here. So he will have a presentation. So I will answer any questions if they're specifically addressed to the planner. So I'll speak, I'll introduce the councillors. They'll have a little speak. Mr. Cahoon will speak, and then there will be questions and answers. So if you do want to come up, you can use the microphones here. Just come up and state your name and your address. And if anybody out there in virtual land, just use the raise hand function. So on that note, I'll just briefly say this is PZ-11-23, 380, 384 Erie, 3 stacked townhouses, 2 8 units, 1 10 unit, total 26 units. They're all 3 stories. They front Erie Avenue. The entrance is off Erie Avenue. There's a proposed rezoning to go to FR4A, which is the type of zone that will accommodate such development. The current zone does not. So Mr. Phillips will go into details on that, but I would like to introduce the councillors, Brian Van Tilburg and Mandy Semmel, please. Thank you.
This just on? I guess we're good. Councillor Samuel, you're not going to come up here and join me? You don't get to hide in the back. I'll just meet at the talking. Sure. All right. Anyways, thank you for coming out tonight, taking your evening and giving it to us to see what's happening here on Erie Ave. People that are watching and people that are here, you basically have until September 14th to give any submissions or your thoughts on this project or share the information that you've heard tonight. This will come to an official planning committee meeting on the September 14th at 9 a.m. I don't know exactly the time that this one will be scheduled because we usually do a few during the day. But that's the time. So feel free to email Councillor Samuel, myself. We'll make sure it gets to the right people if you do that. And we're pretty easy to find. So again, thanks for coming out. And do you want me to introduce Bob and come up here, Mr. Phillips? Well, Robert Phillips. Sorry.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob Phillips from JH Cahoon Engineering Limited. I'm just here tonight to present this proposal on the lands at 380, 384 Erie Ave. It's a proposed 26 unit stacked townhouse development. We've got some nice pictures over there. From what I understand, the one that got circulated was a bit different. We do have street facing townhouses on the current proposal that's been submitted. These are approximately 1,000 square feet in size. Obviously, this is going to be in ultimate a condominium type project. So single owner being the condominium association and the individual owners of the actual units, but the property will be maintained by the condominium. That will be a subsequent application that we make sort of after the rezoning. There is another process in between because of the number of units. We do have to go through site plan approval. which is a process where there's a technical review of all the documents that we prepared, archaeology, traffic, planning justification, stormwater management, functional servicing, and I'm sure I missed some. There is quite a list that we had to prepare. So as I think everybody's mentioned, this is your opportunity to give us some input into the development and things you like, things you don't like, things you would like to be changed before it gets finalized and presented to council. At that, I can only open it up and try to answer any questions you might have. I certainly will stick around so I can go through the plans in detail that we've put up on the side there. I don't know what format you want to do with the question and answer. I can just stay here and ask away, and I'll try to do my best to answer. If I can't answer, I will try to get you some answers in the near future. Right.
No, they cannot see the boards over there.
I believe the owner is actually online for this neighborhood meeting. We did do one recently on Fifth Ave with the same developer, and we actually had no one in the room. So we're kind of pleased that we've got a few people here.
Any one of those to hit the button?
Right there.
All right, thank you. My name is Dennis Kerno. I'm at 378 Erie Avenue, so directly beside the proposed development. And I just have some concerns. One concern's over privacy. There will be, at least according to the old layout, 26 units overlooking our backyard. So we will go from having a view of grass and trees to a parking lot and townhouses, which may also affect the value of our property. I was aware of the proposed development going in behind our property, but due to the depth of our lot, this was not much of a concern. So this development beside our house was a bit of a surprise. Also, the parking area is very close to our house and our bedroom / bathroom, which leads to concerns over noise, etc. when we are sleeping. Plus our dog has a tendency to bark at every noise, so lots of fun. Also, with the closeness of the parking lot to our fenced property, there is concern over possible damage from vehicles. Are there plans for an additional landscape buffer? Now, I see in the new revised plan that towards the eastern end of the property, there is more of a buffer between the parking area and the fence line, but it appears to go down to a smaller buffer up towards where our house is. Also, traditionally, we've had access into our backyard through the side fence on the south side of by our house. There's a little angled piece to the fence there with a gate there that swings open into our yard for access to take a riding mower back, or we have a canoe there to transport the canoe in and out, because it's pretty much extremely difficult to do that on the other side of the fence due to the layout of the garage of the deck and everything else. Now, I see that you have proposal to have a wooden acoustic fence going in. I guess my concern over that would be just at some point the wood will, of course, rot away. Will it be replaced at that time, or is there a possibility of putting in something that is longer lasting? And I like to ramble on, so if there's any point you want to answer a question, feel free. For the parking area itself, I'm a little bit concerned over where the parking lot will drain to. If it drains into our yard, it will affect the grass, especially with any salt that is used in winter snow maintenance. And during construction, how will any possible damages be handled, such as tree falling on the fence? Because I know there's trees that will have to come down. Damage to any trees or roots on our property, because some of them I know are close to our property line, therefore could be affected by where you're building. And any damage to the house or the interior from construction with the earth moving equipment or whatever, doing the excavation of the current house at 380 Erie. I know there'll probably be a lot of noise and vibrations possibly being transmitted through the ground and causing walls to crack, that sort of thing. So that's a concern from our standpoint. And that's about it for personal concerns, just looking for more of a buffer between our property and where things like the parking lot start. I know it's kind of cramped there, but it is a concern from our point of view. And I know it's not really part of this, but I just have an ongoing concern with the traffic on Erie Avenue, which I know that this property itself will not really impact that much. It's only 26 units, so it's not the end of the world sort of thing. But with all of the other developments that are going in, Riverwalk, Greenwich, between them, they're adding close to 1,500 units or something, plus the redevelopment on the Fresco Plaza, plus other developments in the area. It's quite an increase in traffic going up and down Erie Avenue, which is the main artery in and out of the city. And it's kind of limited at this time with the amount of traffic it can support. I know there are plans for traffic maintenance or management, pardon me, plus other measures. But down the road, I'm concerned that it's going to become more and more difficult. As it is, we have to back out of our driveway in order to get onto the road. And depending whether we're going northbound or southbound on Erie, that can be an adventure sometimes with all the traffic currently. And I don't want to think of what it's going to be like once all these other developments get completed. Other than that, those are the concerns that I have. So I don't know if there's anything you want to answer, or
I'll give definitely a few of them a shot.
okay.
Certainly, as part of our plan, there's proposed buffering along your side, you're to the north of the development. I certainly anticipate both the landscaping strip and some privacy fencing in that area. And as I mentioned to you earlier, I think we can probably work with you as far as access into your backyard. Obviously, the property lines are quote the legal lines there. But we'll take that under advisement as well, and take a look at it again. As far as drainage concerned, this is all self-contained. It does not drain into your backyard. It's into a storm sewer system that outlets to Erie Ave and ultimately not far down the road into the river. The proposal includes both quantity controls as well as quality controls. And you are right. Development in the area is maybe driving some improvements on Erie Ave, not this one specifically, but I know the city will be looking at that through those developments. I think there's comprehensive traffic studies done or being done about the area. And I think that's one of the reasons why they're requiring some additional land from us for road widening. When they get the opportunity, yes, until at such time as they feel they have to do it, and then they'll probably approach property owners for those widenings. Help me if I missed the big ticket items with you.
No, my main concern is just the privacy aspect and the buffering and if you're going to put up a fence of some sort, how long lasting is it?
Oh, that was one thing I did want to talk about. Whatever kind of fence goes up, it is the responsibility of the condominium association, and that becomes part of their reserve fund study so that it does get replaced at the appropriate time over, the future.
Yeah, 10 years, 15 years, however long the fence lasts or whatever.
Well, that for sure. Obviously, they do some projections on how long that fence will last, and we'll certainly give some consideration to alternate materials for that fence. That is an item that will be dealt with through the site plan approval process. And, by you making the comments, we're going to probably end up having a discussion about it. Not probably, we will.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Yep. Thank you.
thanks.
Sorry to make you come up. Otherwise, no one in TV land can hear you.
Left side. There you go.
Okay,
Feel free to sit down.
hey, no,
Feel-
okay, I'll just move over though. I'm curious, 26 of those units?
Can you
How
state
many-
your name and address, please? Sorry.
Sorry,
Yes, state your name and address for the record, please.
Kim Harrison, I live in Brantford. I'm just curious, how many residential units?
26. That is
26.
only one block that I've shown in that picture.
So how many are in that
10.
10 in there? So 26 residential units, okay. Because I was down there today and noticed there's a school right down the street. And I too have concerns about the amount of traffic that it's going to create. And I also thought that area was also part of the search for the children. I meant to check my training. I had the ground penetrating.
We certainly, as part of our submission to the city, had to do an I have trouble saying that word,
Yeah.
archaeological evaluation of the site.
And what phase are you in?
We did a phase 1 and a phase 2, and they're clean.
They're clean. Have you spoke to the secretariat?
I do
Got
not,
your clearance?
I
or
do
any-
not know that the archaeologist contacted them, although they do have to register before they do any work. So
Yeah.
they are notified.
Well, so that's not consultation. That's, here's what we're doing. We're not consulting you. We start this day. So there'll be no consultation from what I understand then from you. Interesting. Okay. Because I thought that we were supposed to consult them, not just send them an email saying we're starting
Oh, no, they actually do get the copy of the reports
prior to.
that were
Did-
completed on the site, and they're circulated as part of our application. And I am not aware of any feedback on the,
Because I, from what I understand, the other side of the road on Burkett, that corner, the other corner, that's still part of the search. 600 acres is what we were told. We were given maps, and I thought it was also that corner.
I'm not aware of that.
I just
myself.
wouldn't want anything to happen.
Oh,
Did I
absolutely.
say that in my out loud voice? Okay. Those are my concerns.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, John Gafusia, 259 Erie Ave. My comments will generally echo this gentleman's right here. I'm concerned about infrastructure. We knew about Burkett Lane development. And then the Fresco development was presented to us. And this one came out of the blue. And I'm really concerned. We did a traffic study. We came to council for a traffic study last year, which was done. And there's some improvements were made and are going to be made, but I really don't think when you throw all these developments together, I don't think we have the infrastructure to support all this. I'm not anti-development, but I'm for reasonable development. I guess what I'm saying is that, 20 years down the road, I think that this whole area is going to be a mess with traffic. I mean, it's just going to add to the flow of what's coming to and from the Freshco Plaza area. It's a mess at certain times of the day now. And a general comment I have about Brantford in general, and Eagle Place in particular, is I'm concerned about development that our city will be defined by the developers, not the people that live here. And your project, I mean, I don't know if I'm for it or against it, but I just think there are concerns there.
I appreciate those concerns, and I think those are concerns you should take up with your counselors about the overall planning of the area.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Do we have any other? I got a question here.
Okay, how is garbage and sanitation and snow plowing and that kind of thing going to be handled in this condensed development?
The proposal for garbage collection is the underground sort of collection system where each resident takes their garbage to these underground facilities.
Like a Moloch?
That's the Kleenex versus tissue definition. But yes, that's what we show on our plan right now is Molochs. There's all kinds of different versions of those earth bins, I believe, but they're all under the same principle.
Yeah, I say skidoo and versus snow machine too. So I'm pretty bad for that stuff. And snow removal?
Certainly, that's the responsibility of the condo association. Obviously, there are limited areas on the site where you can store snow. And, for the operation, it may just have to be picked up and trucked off site.
And how many vehicles per unit?
Don't remember exactly. See. We are over the requirements of the zoning bylaw, and I know that's not the answer you were looking for. We're about over 1.5 spaces per unit.
So you're over 35?
I think there's 42.
42. Well, that's a fair amount over. And this parking is separated from, it's not at the unit itself.
No, this is because they're stacked townhouses. They do not have integral garages. They're just on-site parking.
Okay. That's all my questions for right now.
Councillor Van Tilburg, I can answer the question about parking. For this development, it's 1.5 parking spots per unit, 26 units. So basically it's 40. The requirement would be 32. They have 42. So they're above the requirements. And I also just wanted to state that when I said FR4A is the proposed zoning, it's residential medium density. The F denotes that it's a floodway. There is a flood zone in that area. There's special policies in the official plan and in the zoning bylaw that have to be considered whenever there's construction. In particular, it can't be any lower than the existing structures around it. And the reason for the amendment from the former FR1B, which is residential type 1B 15-meter zone, to the FR4A residential medium density is to allow for stacked townhomes because they're not permitted in the former zone.
Sure.
All right, Dennis Curnow again. So you brought up about the special policy area 1, which is on the floodplain, and that the properties have to be at the same level as the existing structures around them. So does that mean they have to be on the same level as, say, my house, or just the same level as the front town row of townhouses that are street facing?
I could read the policy. It says all development and redevelopment in special policy area 1 will have to have a first floor elevation not less than that of the nearest existing building comprising the main use on a lot, or the elevation of the 100-year flood, whichever is less. Additions to existing buildings will have a first floor elevation not less than that of the existing building.
So it will be at or above the 2 abutting residences.
Okay, because does that mean the back 2 blocks of the townhouses will be higher than the one at the front? Not higher in terms of the level, because the ground there tends to slope down and away.
They will, and I can look at in a little bit more detail. I did bring a grading plan, and I believe they're all at the same elevation.
Okay. And also, if there's any possibility of getting a copy of the new layout or access to it online or whatever, just because it has changed from what it was previously.
We can provide that to you.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have any further speakers?
I just wanted to check if there was anyone in the virtual room that wanted to speak. If you wish to speak, could you raise your hand?
I first of all like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and I hope we provided the appropriate information to you. And I think Blaine's going to tell you if you got any further comments, please do not hesitate to contact him, and feel free to contact me if you do have anything further.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, so thank you for coming out tonight. We do appreciate it. That's the purpose. Public comment. My name and email is on the form, so it's byatabe@brantford.ca, byatabe@brantford.ca. If there's anything else that you'd like to know from a planning perspective, there have been several studies and things that have been done. Feel free. But this is the next meeting will be the statutory public meeting, as Councillor Van Tilburg mentioned, September 14th, 2023. That is the next planning committee, and this will be on the agenda. So again, thank you for coming out tonight, and I guess that would conclude this neighborhood meeting. Thank you.